Yes! 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 Oh my god, what a race! Yes! 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 Monaco, baby! Yes! 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 Oh my god, yes! 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 What a race! Oh my god, it was insanity! Yes! 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 We're gonna be in the thunder, the fire. This is not gonna work. I'm not even sure how to respond after that beginning, since I can't do my normal beginning. Welcome, folks. This is In the Paddock F1, Greeny and the Cheese, the mid-season special, spectacular, the Wake and Bake special, whatever you want to call it. Greeny, hello, sir.
Yeah, we're used to doing shows after the races in the evening, and we are definitely doing the races a little bit later or earlier in the morning. I apologize. We got Le Mans on the background, and it is a week before our season kicks back up for the second half. So we are here recapping the first half of the season. How exciting it is to be back, man. Really, really is. It's been, 2.5 weeks. Felt like an eternity since we did our last show. And here we go, man. A lot of predictions that we made preseason. That was for sure. If anyone wants to check it out, episode 2, all the way back to March, where we had our predictions. Now we're going to go back through our predictions, see what lined up, what didn't line up, maybe have some laughs. Introduction brought to you by every single exciting beginning that Ryan the Cheese O'Rourke has provided us with over the course of the first half of the season. So we're celebrating that today. Like we said, celebrating
You're ridiculous.
24-hour Le Mans and celebrating a new microphone for myself as well. So away we go, man. And let's begin kind of where we started at the beginning of the season and talking about where we're at right now, our top drivers, where we're at. We had a lot of flip-flopping. Started off with Lewis in the front, ended up with Max in the front, and now we have Lewis back in the front again. Talk to me, man. First half of the season at the top. How you feeling? How's it looking? And what do you think we see for the second half of the season?
It's been the battle royale that we all wanted and expected, my friend. It's been absolutely what we wanted to see. We wanted to see two guys going at it, not just one team dominating. We want to see two teams going at it. Adds a lot more excitement. We've had surprise winners, as you usually do get in a Formula One season. But it's been what you want. It's been just an excellent season overall. Exciting races, some lunacy, some chaos. Little disappointed there's been no driver news coming into the mid-season break with the crazy season to find out who's going where for next season. Little disappointing for that aspect, but overall the racing has been insane. Max and Lewis are what we wanted to see and expected. And I think it's going to continue to do the second half. Everybody's going to come back fresh. Red Bull's ticked off. They got a little fire in their belly. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it looks like we're in for a great second half. As we talked about preseason, we really were just hoping for a great second half of the season. That's really all you can really hope for as a race fan here, and that you guys come back and we come back and it's a competitive season and we're not just sitting around watching Lewis just winning another title and just seeing, who's going to come in third or fourth. which we have some great action there as well. In 3-4 positions. So very very interesting. First time in a while we have 3 different constructors in the top 3. And so it really makes for a great second half. Something we spoke about earlier in the season, but Lando Norris and where he is right now, behind Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. So super interesting first half. Definitely very, very difficult to predict, and creates for a great second half. We have Ferrari and McLaren are in a dead heat right now at 3 in the constructors, which makes it very, very interesting, as well as, a Red Bull and Mercedes are very, very close to each other, not in a dead heat, but just about, as well as Lewis and Max. So not a position we've been in previous summers where we've had the break. Coming back from break, we kind of have a clear look of what it's going to look like. At least most likely, obviously, someone can, come from behind and win 4 races in a row. But this time it's really up for grabs as far as top 2 positions, top 2 constructors, and 3 and 4 constructors as well. And some interesting stuff going on downwind as well for the other teams. So I think interesting the whole way around. Like you said, we had some great races in the first, great memorable races in the first half. So for those of you who have been tuning in for the first time ever this season, Formula One, you picked a great season to start watching, because really has been a fantastic season. Really the best one in recent memory.
Oh, it's been the best one in recent memory for, I'd say, 5-6 years? Probably.
At least for the first half, when we had, Vettel and Hamilton between Red Bull and Mercedes, 5-6 years ago. I mean, even when Nico Rosberg was racing for Mercedes, at least we had something. Nico was so much more competitive than Valtteri is now. I don't know if that's Lewis just becoming a much better driver, or Nico was that much better than Valtteri is, but. Here we are, and it's just an exciting time to be a Formula One fan. We got through that just mess of a COVID season, and thank goodness everyone's been healthy this season. I don't think we've heard much. Looks like everyone's been safe. Most drivers have been vaccinated. Most teams have been vaccinated, so they've been taking it very, very seriously. They're always wearing masks, especially when they're in areas, in high traffic areas, and we constantly see that and constantly see the reinforcement. Maybe a little bit different than we've seen in some American sports, where there's a little more liberty there. There really hasn't been. They've been very, very tight on regulations and on COVID, which is something we haven't even talked about this season, which is wonderful, because that's the last thing we want to talk about is COVID. And Formula One has done a great job to remind us that it's time to race and enjoy and take our focus off of regular life, and that's why they race. One of the many reasons. Besides that, and a whole truckload of cash. So here we go, man. Let's truckload. I mean, seriously, what these guys are getting paid now is unbelievable. And what these races cost. I mean, remember, Formula One lost, a lot of money last year. A lot of money, a couple $100 million, which seems like a ton for a normal person. It's not as much as you think. But still, they lost a ton of money last year, and they have to race every race this year to kind of break even. Not that anyone's crying for Formula One and their billions that they've made previously, but it's reality, and reality is reality, and whether you like it or not, it's going to affect the product they're putting out. So, with that being said, let's roll and let's check out where we are right now with our drivers, top 10 drivers. Let's take a look, man.
Well, Lewis is in the lead. You got Max second. Lando, who he didn't finish in the points in one race this season.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the biggest surprise by far.
That is a massively impressive. Lando's definitely taken a massive step this season. The McLaren has as well, but Lando has definitely stepped up his game and is totally coming into his own at this point. You got Valtteri down there in fourth. We'll see if he's going to even be there next year. We are waiting on some news. Hopefully we'll get it this coming week on who will be Lewis's teammate next season and what are the ramifications that has down the grid on who's getting seats and who's not going to have a seat. Sergio coming in 5th right now with a, nice season so far in his first year in a Red Bull, in the cursed second seat at Red Bull. Definitely been doing way better than anybody else has there recently.
Yes, for sure. Perez finds himself in 5th right now. Bottas in 4th. But yeah, it's a crazy top 5 throwing Lando in. I think preseason you had Lando predicted to be 8th, and I had him 7th. I think you mocked me a little bit as well if you listened to previous episodes, how I thought Lando was going to finish 7th, and there he is in 3rd. So, yeah, definitely something that we were, surprised by. I think something you were hopeful for was Charles Leclerc, who you had in 4th to finish the season. Obviously, we're only midway through the season, but he finds himself in 7th right now. But Carlos Sainz, you nailed it, in 6th. He's in 6th, just as you said. And we both had Hamilton 1st and Max in 2nd coming into the season, with Bottas in 3rd. You have Leclerc in 4th. I had Sergio Perez in 4th. And we both, I'm sorry. You had Danny at 7, which is much more accurate than my Danny at 5. I think we both were very, very hopeful that, or that thinking that Danny would finish ahead of Lando, but it doesn't look like the case. I mean, it looks like Lando's going to finish well ahead of Danny, regardless of what that second half looks like. Just about, it's going to be pretty tough for Danny to finish ahead of Lando, minus a collapse or something going on. So,
well, Danny's just struggled the entire season, so
yeah.
We both did not see that coming. The just absolute massive struggle that Danny has had. Did not see that coming whatsoever. I thought there'd be a lot quicker adjustment to the McLaren seat. Apparently not. Lots of struggles. He's picked up sim racing now to try and help his game a little bit. So, which he's never really done before. So he knows he's been clunking it and he's got to pick it up. So that's definitely been a surprise. I mean, the Williams scoring points this year was a surprise. Both cars in the points.
Yeah, Williams finds himself in 8th right now amongst the constructors. Definitely a surprise. I mean, it's not many points, but it is points on the board. Something we talked about preseason. If Williams would get any points,
9 teams have points. 9 teams have points right now.
Haas is the only one without any points.
So that's been a big change for this year, for this first half of the season, that, Williams actually has some points. When was the last time that happened? That was many moons ago, sir.
It's been a while. I think maybe Felipe Massa, if I'm at the top of my head, was probably the last person to score points for Williams, probably 5-6 years ago. So that's just off the top of my head. I'm just trying to think of any.
I'd probably agree with that.
Williams, I have to look that up, but that's just the last time. Off the top of my head, I could think of the last time Williams was scoring any points in a race. Probably Felipe Massa, like 2016 in like Mexico, I think. Go back in the archives for that one. But anyway, it's been a while, man. So to see 9 teams with points halfway through still gives the opportunity for Haas to accidentally get in the points and make it every single team getting points. Williams finds himself in 8th ahead of Alpha, who I thought had a good season as well. I think Kimi a lot of times has come out there and Giovinazzi as well, driving an inferior car and being competitive. I mean, sometimes they're there right around the points. They haven't been so successful in getting in there. But they've been on the board 11, 12, 13, many, many times. Just competitive. Some weeks coming out is competitive. And Kimi
they're pretty much in the same car they were last year, with just the different, upgraded changes that they had to make the car legal. It's basically the same car. It definitely shows a little bit of their skill to be where they place on the grid at the end of the race, when you're basically racing last year's model versus the newer models that everybody else is running.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that shows a little something. I mean, the Ferrari power-wise upgrade definitely helps them out. The Ferrari engine is definitely better this year than it was last year, so that's definitely giving them a boost in that regard. But they're still racing basically last year's car. And to be where they are, that's not too shabby. I'm gonna, to be dead honest.
No, absolutely, and something we talked about. We knew that Alpha, Williams, and Hospital be bottom three. We didn't know how they would line up. Pretty much everyone figuring Haas would be dead last as they are, but Williams and Alpha both showing something. Both teams showing a little bit more than we thought they would. And then you have Alpine, who's just really had a fantastic season so far. Very, very surprising. We had them both in seventh, and they're in fifth right now. So they're having a good season too. But you look at Ferrari and McLaren. I think we both had them, like we said earlier. I had them McLaren Ferrari. You had Ferrari McLaren. It really doesn't matter because they're both in a dead heat right now, which makes things very, very interesting. If it wasn't for Danny having a step back this season, you could see McLaren with a lot more points. But as we've known, Carlos and Charles have definitely had some of their own issues all season long, and is a clear delineation between 1, 2, and 3, 4. Talk to me about Ferrari. How do you feel about your boys at Ferrari first half of the season, based on what you thought preseason and how we are looking now?
I'm kind of happy with it, to be honest. The car's improving. We have I've heard they have some upgrades coming through the pipeline. I think that maybe there might be getting one at Spa next week, possibly an engine upgrade. But I've been very happy with it. They've definitely improved the car from where it was at the beginning of the season. Definitely way more competitive. Got a little podium in there. But it's going to be a battle all the way through. And I think Ferrari will get that extra edge just because of Danny's struggles. If Danny doesn't pick up his game and the Ferrari continues to creep up a little bit more onto the McLaren, they will definitely score more points than McLaren. Danny's struggles has definitely hurt McLaren massively. Because the way the Ferrari started the season early, not looking so great. Upgrades, yes, it has improved, but the McLaren started off way better. And they didn't take the opportunity to get that point lead. Now we're tied midway. Ferrari's coming. McLaren seems to be slipping a little bit outside of Lando, who's just been absolutely incredible all season long. Absolutely incredible. But I still think Ferrari's going to take it. Is going to get that third spot and get that big extra chunk of cash.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Big money. That is big money, son.
That's a big deal. Money. And I didn't think it would happen. If you had to press me again for an answer preseason, I didn't think we would be in a situation where Ferrari would look to possibly finish third. But with upgrades coming and with the way their drivers have been driving and with the way Danny has kind of taken a step back this year, so that's where we are. It's Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari and McLaren rounding out the top four. And we have Hamilton, we have Max, surprise Lando Norris, Bottas, and Sergio Checo Perez rounding out the top five in the drivers. Kind of where we had it a little bit off in some areas, in some spots. It was tough to predict, and definitely, again, Lando is probably the surprise and probably the driver. I would say the driver of the first half, besides Max and Lewis. If you take them out, because we kind of predicted that they were going to be top dogs this year. Lando Norris, fantastic first half. Hopefully, he continues in the second half. You hope he does not continue his dominance in the second half and give it the opportunity to Ferrari to take that number 3 spot. But that's where we're going to leave it for our first segment of our Super Halftime Special. We'll be back in a minute with a little more laughs, a little more predictions, and taking a look at some of our preseason predictions as we are midway through the 2021 season, greening the cheese in the Paddock F1. Back after this. What's up, everyone? Greeny from In the Paddock here. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Please let me explain. It's free. Okay, free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you for free, so it can be heard on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many, many more. You can make money as well. Money with your podcast. No minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. What's up, F1 lunatics? We are back. Greeny and the Cheese in the Paddock F1, the halftime special. Halfway through the season, we made it.
Wake and bake special.
We made it. We made it through.
No response, huh?
Eggs and bacon. Waking and
Not
bacon.
The kind of wake and bake. Not the kind of wake and bake I'm talking about.
Oh, no.
Eggs and bacon.
Right.
Ain't no eggs and bacon. What you talking about? Eggs and bacon.
An early morning show, an early Sunday morning show, atypical of what we normally do at here at In the Paddock with Greeny and the Cheese. So yeah, man, we made a couple prop bets for the end of the season, not for halftime, but let's take a look and let's see if we can make any bold predictions for the second half of the season. But I'm going to start where we kind of started at the beginning of the season and ask you some questions. I'm going to see what you think you said because I wrote it all down, and then we're going to see where we're at actually in the predictions.
Oh, so, I don't remember what I said.
Well, we'll see. All right, I know what you said. Let's see if you remember what you said. I don't know if you remember what you did 20 minutes ago, but let's see what you said.
Usually not, no.
All right. Number one involves your ponies at Ferrari. Ferrari podiums over under 3.5. Now, right now we're at 3. So if you bet the over, you're in good shape. You haven't won yet, but you got a lot of opportunities to get that fourth podium win.
I think I went with the over.
You, sir, did go with the over. You went with the over of 3.5?
Where's the bell? Where's the winning sound? Come on. What are you doing?
We'll see if we can put it in
these questions, and if I get it right, I don't get no noise, and if I get it wrong, I don't get like or something like that. Come on.
This is not right or wrong yet. We are only at the halftime point. So at the end of the season, we'll have some, better production value. But at the moment, we do not have the production value because right now, I don't think there's any you have actually won yet officially. It's not officially in the books. As Kenny Rogers once said, don't be counting your money while sitting at the table. So
that's right, sir.
So you're still sitting at the table. We're only halfway through the season. We're just kind of reviewing. And at the end of the season, I promise top quality production value for our season finale after we complete the season after Abu Dhabi.
Isn't that the Christmas special?
We'll have a Christmas special, live stream Christmas special, apparently. So I'm very excited for that.
Was this right? I was not told this.
Oh, no, there's a live stream Christmas special coming. It's only August, but right now we are planning for a fully produced live stream Christmas special. We'll be giving you all that information as we go. I'll also be filling my partner in as well. So he was also aware
of that would be nice.
What we're doing. Don't worry about it. I got it under control. Don't worry. All right. Question number 2. Most wins for the season. Bottas or Max Verstappen?
Oh, wow, what the hell? I definitely probably said Max.
You did say Max. Ding, ding, ding. You did say Max. It was obviously a tougher call preseason. It looks like a foolish, answer response now, but it was definitely a tougher call preseason when we really didn't know if Red Bull had what it took, or if as we talked about preseason, if Mercedes was sandbagging it, or if Red Bull really took that big step forward. So Max is definitely in the lead there. That's an obvious one. Looks very obvious now, but was not so obvious preseason. Really wasn't. Number 3. Will George Russell finish the season with Williams?
I said yes.
You said no. You said no, And you cited
Rubbish.
COVID as a potential.
I said if he'd be in there if there was a COVID issue for like a week, but he's going to be in the Williams. That's rubbish. 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 Ding, ding, ding. The heck out of here.
Question number 4.
Please move. Next question.
Question number 4. Will Toto Wolff drop an F-bomb on live TV in the 2021 season?
Oh, I definitely said yes because I wanted to hear it, but he is not so far.
Not so far. He came close. He came close several times. He's come very close. We thought it was going to happen. He's also had a little less TV time as well, I think, in general, after getting a little PO'd last season, a little aggravated while cruising to another constructors championship and while cruising to a Lewis Hamilton championship as well. Was definitely not happy many times. So if wasn't happy last season many times, I can only imagine how he's felt this season while struggling to maintain that lead. So still yet to come. No ding ding yet, but still yet to come. Number 5.
That was more of a I hope it happens, yes, than anything else. Number 5, next question.
Number 5. Who will have more points this season? Lance Stroll or Sebastian Vettel? Right now, Vettel is ahead by, I think, about 15, 20 points. So a little comfortable lead for Sebastian at the moment. But
I'm going to take a shot in the dark here, and I said Seb.
You said Lance Stroll.
Okay, I was back and forth on that one, but yeah. Okay.
You went with youth. Definitely not, I mean, no one can blame you for that pick, but Vettel has squeaked out some impressive.
Vettel's kind of a little bit of old Seb has come back out this season.
Sometimes, I mean,
old Seb has come back out.
He still has not pierced the top 10 in driver standings because he's had plenty of terrible starts as well.
Yes. But also has had some bad luck.
Equally had some bad luck. Equally created some of his own bad luck.
Yes.
That he has done as well.
Yes.
And so it's been a very, very interesting year for Seb. But he is ahead of his teammate Lance Stroll halfway through the season, and by I say a semi-comfortable margin. But we'll see what happens in the second half of the season. Number 6, Fernando Alonso make 15.5 starts this season.
Oh, it was a definite yes.
No distractions. No.
That was a definite yes.
No, nothing else calling his name. He started every race, and we something we talked about, and we didn't talk about in the first segment. Kind of saved it for the second segment. Is where Fernando Alonso is, and we talked about who would possibly come in 11th. Who would be that one person right outside of the top 10? And preseason, if you look back, we didn't even mention Fernando Alonso as being that number 11 guy, but he is. There he is. He's in 11th. He had a very, very impressive season, and something we really didn't talk about preseason or predict.
The Alpine made a big jump with their car, with the upgrades that they brought. And Fernando is just incredible behind the wheel of a Formula One car.
Fernando is absolutely incredible. What he's doing this season is between him and my next guy, who I'm going to mention here, both back-to-back questions because of age. Because you get up to a certain age, and sometimes it's pretty tough. Yeah, your conditioning has to be spot on. You are not, you're competing against guys who are now in their early 20s. And you're in your late 30s, early 40s, which brings me to our next question. Kimi Räikkönen, will Kimi start every race this season?
Yes. That was a definite yes.
Definite yes. And so far, he started every race this season. He's been impressive at times. And I believe, if you look back at it, I have to take a look back at all the numbers, but I believe he's made the most made up the most number of places from quali to race time of any driver this season. I mean, some days he's been 5-6 spots higher than qualifying. He's qualified 16, 17 and finished, 11, 12 many, many times this season. He's had some bad luck as well, but him and Fernando have just turned back the clock, and they look phenomenal in really less than phenomenal vehicles this year. And what they're both doing is so impressive. And I just wanted to take a moment and talk about that because I think it's really been impressive what both of them have been doing. It's just unbelievable how this was, at one point a really young man's sport, and now they're showing that no,
Well,
really,
Fernando's
you can still do it.
Fernando's even more impressive to me since he wasn't even in Formula One last year. He wasn't even here, and then he pops back in there, and he couple races, and then it looks like he never left. That's the most impressive thing to me. It's not easy to step out of the seat of a Formula One car for a year or more and then pop back in it and throw down top 10 finishes. That's not an easy thing. Massively impressive. But then again, it's Fernando Alonso. The man's a legend. Man's an absolute legend.
Absolute legend. Really absolute legend. So impressive. And what he's done for that vehicle this year. Just so impressive. Coming right back into Formula One. Making it look easy. And it's not easy. It's so far from easy. And he just makes it look easy. All right. So next question. Yuki Tsunoda. 4.5 over under top 10 finishes this season.
I definitely said under.
You went over.
Did I?
I think we're 2. Is it 2 now? I think he's at 2 top 10 finishes. It'll be close. It'll be close. Right now, he's definitely looking like Rookie of the Year. That's pretty hands down. I would say he's had a few red flags, that's for sure. You're not going to give it to Nikita Mazepin at this moment. Maybe Mick Schumacher. I was
gonna say Schumacher's been pretty deep, pretty good in a very rubbish race car.
Absolutely. An absolute rubbish car. They are getting lapped 2 times pretty easily, max. You're talking 2, almost 3 laps. Some of these races with Max, just he's flying out there, and it's
he's impressed the higher ups at Ferrari with how he's done with Haas, Mick Schumacher.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hand Yuki nothing right now because Yuki's made some really bonehead mistakes.
Yeah, he's had a lot of red flags
in a far superior car than the Haas's. That one's a debate to see. Wouldn't be handing out no trophy yet. Next question.
Haas Racing, will they score 2.5 times over under? Haas Racing score top 10.
I definitely said under on that rubbish.
Under is correct. They've had nothing. They're the only team right now with nothing.
They will continue to be the only team that will have nothing.
And they probably will continue to have nothing. They're that far behind. Even the 9th place teams, they really look that much worse than both Alfa Romeo and Williams. I mean, they are just a full step below both those teams, where we thought they would be possibly closer to those teams. Is really isn't. Williams definitely has a really much better showing, and Alfa Romeo as well. Haas is so far behind. Really is very sad for the American racing team. Hopefully they'll take their numbers and stats, and hopefully Mick Schumacher can really show up next year, and maybe they can get Nikita Mazepin out of there, because he just brings nothing to that team. Nothing to that team. Well, no, that's not true. His daddy brings money to that team.
That's about it, money.
All right, and the final question of our prop bets for 2021. McLaren wins 2.5.
I'm going to guess I said under.
You did guess under, and there's been no movement on that, so it's going to have to be not a miracle season, but a really fantastic second half of a season to get those 3 wins. But close, much closer than you would think. Lando has come close. But with Danny being not the Danny we expected him to be. I mean, it's a possibility that they could have won a race potentially if Danny was closer up there. But him being, even when Lando's at his best, Danny being, towards the middle of the pack isn't going to help him at all, and is going to help his teammate out. So there we are. That is our 10 prop questions. You're looking pretty good. You're clicking about a 70% clip. Just like you're a Greedy Bucks this season, you're dominating. I could not stump the cheese so far, first half of the season. I think you beat me by one. I think right now, if the season ended today, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 correct positions on constructors, and I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 correct positions on constructors. So you beat me there. And then as far as drivers are concerned, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 correct positions, and I have 1, 2, 3 correct positions of top 10. So,
how does it feel to be always the second place?
So just slightly below you. It's not a doubling as it's been in the Greeny Bucks world, but it's still just enough so far. Halfway through, I look at the scoreboard and I see a impending loss, but we still have 12 more races.
All you get to see is my taillight, son.
13 more races to go. We got 13 races to go going forward after this. We got a lot of races to go. Yes. We got a lot of racing going on.
We'll see. Japan is out. No word on a replacement yet. Turkey's probably still up in the air. And I'm going to probably guess Australia will be out.
Likely.
We'll see.
They're very...
So we'll see how it all shakes out at this point. But there could be more cancellations. We'll see. Hopefully not, but we'll see.
Well, we appreciate everything, and all of our listeners especially. We could not have done it without you guys and girls all around the world. Really, truly all around the world, listeners from everywhere reaching out. It's been really fantastic. If you want to connect with us, Cheese in the Paddock at Instagram, Greeny in the Paddock at Instagram as well. And feel free to reach out to us at in the Paddock USA at gmail.com. We also just added, you can click on this episode and you can connect with us directly. You can leave us a voice message directly if you want to click on the episode, and you can check that out. And if you got a voice message and you leave it for us and we find it appropriate, which we'll play it on the air for you guys. So feel free to click that button and leave us a message and anything you got to say.
We'll catch you next week for one of my favorite tracks, Spa-Francorchamps, in the Ardennes Forest. For the first of a triple. Another triple segment in the season. We go Spa, Zandvoort, and then Monza. 1, 2, 3 weekends in a row. Buckle your seatbelts. Second half begins. 6 days. Let's do it.
6 days from today. Cheese, pleasure working with you as always. And thanks again for joining us. Feel free to reach out, connect, and we'll see you for the second half in 6 days, my friend. Peace.
Peace.